Hey Gladiators! Welcome to week 4 prep 2. At the end of this week, we want you to take pictures of your front, side, and back as your halfway progression pictures. Compare them to your week 1. And don't forget to send us a copy of your week 1 and week 4 pictures so we can see how you're doing. Let's get started on today's meal prep.
Alright, so for today's menu, our meal 1 will be boiled eggs, oatmeal, blueberries, or 1 cup of fruit you have chosen. Meal 2 will be a chicken parm with broccoli, our post-workout, a protein shake. Meal 3, Kefta meatballs with sauce and sweet potato mash. Meal 4, brownies. Alright, so here we encourage you to pause the video and get all of your groceries and spices ready. Then start the video. Preheat oven to 390 degrees. Alright, so first you want to boil your eggs. Add eggs to pot. Fill with water just above eggs. Add to stove. Set heat on medium-high. Once water starts to boil, drop heat to medium-low and set timer for 13 minutes. Next, chop your broccoli and add to a steamer. For me, I add a gadget to the pot, fill with water till it's just showing through, and then I add my broccoli on top, cover with a lid, placing on stovetop. Set my heat on high till water comes to a boil, lowering heat to medium and setting timer for 8 to 10 minutes. Let's get our sweet potato cooking. Check for any unwanted bits. Then chop sweet potato 1.5 inches thick, leaving skin on. Once they are cooked, skin will slide right off. Place on stovetop, heat on high till water comes to a boil. Drop heat to medium-low for 20 minutes. Get chicken spices ready. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of dried basil or 10 leaves fresh, 2 garlic, 1 tablespoon of parsley or 1/4 cup fresh, half a teaspoon of pink salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1.5 teaspoons of Parmesan, 1 tablespoon of onion soup mix, 1/4 teaspoon of thyme, a half a teaspoon of oregano. For your toppings, you're going to need 1 cup of salsa and 75 grams of grated mozzarella. Mix chicken spices in a food processor.
Okay, so for our chicken parms, you have a couple options on how you can flatten your chicken. If you have a melon at home, it's ideal, and you want to use the flat side. If you don't have a mallet at home, you can always use a small frying pan. When you hit it, you want to try and hit it evenly and make sure that your chicken doesn't have one side too big and one side too small, okay? Let's get started.
Place chicken on a sheet of parchment paper and cut chicken in half. Add a second sheet of parchment paper on top. Using a mallet or small frying pan, hit chicken a few times. You're looking till the chicken is evenly flat, should almost double in size. Sprinkle spices on top and bottom of chicken. Rub spices around and place on a sheet pan. Then add salsa and sprinkle mozzarella on top. Add chicken parm to oven for 20 minutes. Egg timer should be going off. Remove eggs from stove. Drain hot water. Run cold water over eggs for about 1 minute. Then set aside till needed. Around this time, broccoli should be ready to come off. Drain hot water, add a bit of cold, set aside, leaving lid off. Get beef spices ready. You're going to need a 1/3 cup of oatmeal ground, a half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, 2 tablespoons of dried parsley, or a half a cup fresh, half a tablespoon of dried mint, or 7 leaves fresh, 1/4 teaspoon of dried ginger, or a pinky tip of fresh, 1½ teaspoons of coriander, a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of allspice, a half a teaspoon of pink salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and a half a tablespoon of cumin, 1 egg, 1 small onion, and 3 garlic. Add all dry spices to a food processor, blending well. Next, add your onion and egg. Give it a few taps. If you have a large food processor, add your beef to your spices next. Because I have a small food processor, I had to empty mine out and split the spices with my beef and repeat a couple times. How to know when you are ready to stop your processing of your beef. Blend till meat starts to clump and moves around as one. Wash your food processor, you'll be using it again shortly. Once you have finished mixing your meat, make 2 tablespoon size meatballs, placing on a baking sheet. Sweet potato timer should be going off. Take sweet potato off burner, drain hot water, set aside with lid on. Chicken parm should be ready to come out of the oven. Add your meatballs for 30 minutes. Get your Kefta sauce ready. You will need 1 teaspoon of white vinegar, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1½ teaspoons of pink salt, 5 to 6 garlic, 8 to 10 mint leaves, 1 cucumber, half of it gutted, and 400 grams of Greek yogurt. Add cucumber and spices to a food processor, giving a few taps until cucumber is chopped small. Add to a bowl. Then add your Greek yogurt and set in the fridge. Wash your food processor as you will be using it again shortly. Let's prep meal 1. Using 3 split containers, add boiled eggs to one side. Scoop out oatmeal intake to the other side with 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Add blueberries, or 1 cup of fruit you have chosen. If the fruit you have chosen doesn't go with the oatmeal, add to another container. Drain and rinse lentil. Split lentil into 2 parts, 1 1/2 cup and the other in a 1 3/4 cup. Let's get brownie spices together. You will need 2 eggs, a 1/2 cup of cooked sweet potato, 3 tablespoons of maple syrup, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, a 1/4 cup of black coffee, and you will also need your 1 3/4 cup of lentils. 2 scoops of Allmax vanilla protein powder, a 1/3 cup of cocoa powder, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, a 1/8 teaspoon of allspice, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a pinch of pink salt. For your toppings, you're going to need a 1/4 cup of dark chocolate chips and 1 1/2 tablespoons of chopped walnuts. Add everything to a food processor except toppings. Blend till smooth. I had to do this a few times. Combine in a bowl before adding to a baking pan. If you have a large food processor, you do not need to add to a bowl. Pour your batter into a baking pan after you have added parchment paper. Then add dark chocolate chips and walnuts. Give a light stir. Set aside till ready for the oven. Prep meal 2. Grabbing 3 containers, add chicken, then broccoli. Let cool, seal up, place in the fridge. Meatballs should be ready to come out of the oven. Add brownies to the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. Get sweet potato spices ready. You're going to need 1 teaspoon of cumin and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Let's mash your sweet potato. Take the skin off your sweet potato before you start. Then add your spices and mash up sweet potato. Sprinkle over your lentil and give a good mix. You are now ready to prep your meal 3. Grabbing 3 large containers and 3 small. Adding sauce to the small containers. Next, add your sweet potato mash to the large containers. You can add to one side or across the whole bottom. The choice is yours. Divide meatballs into 3 and add to your containers. Let cool, seal up, and put in your fridge. Let's prep our post-workout meal, adding 1 scoop of protein powder to a sandwich bag for a total of 3. Brownie timer should be going off. Take the brownies out of the oven. Using the parchment paper, pull the brownie out of the baking pan. Set aside for 10 minutes to cool before cutting. Cut brownies into 6 slices, adding 2 per container for a total of 3. I like to enjoy mine with a green tea.
Well, gladiators, this concludes today's meal prep. We hope you enjoyed today. Comment below and let us know what you like or dislike about the video so we can continue to provide you with great content. Also, send us pictures to this email of your food prep so that we can feature you on our Instagram page and website. And remember, champions are made, not born.